Coach Jackson, good morning. Good to see you.
Appreciate you guys having me on. Good to see you as well.
Hey, you've coached in this event before during your collegiate coaching career, I believe, with Southern. Talk about how special this experience is for you and for your players.
It's a great opportunity, and the way that that MLB has created this tournament to give kids an opportunity to play, and with Andre Dawson being that HBCU Hall of Famer, it's a very passionate, competitive environment. And like you said, I coached in it when I was at Southern University, and at that time, I always felt like it was a great opportunity for HBCUs to play schools that weren't HBCUs. And so when this opened up in our schedule, I reached out to Dell and Tony and to see if we could get in there and give our kids here at Missouri that experience, as well as some of those HBCU kids the experience of playing outside competition.
Hey, Coach Jackson, what are some of the challenges that you face bringing a team that sometimes has some tough weather? And I mean, Missouri's had some tough weather this winter, and bringing them down south for the first time.
Yeah, it's, when you get outside for the first time, sometimes there's that, we're in Puerto Rico. We're just leaving a tournament here in Puerto Rico. And so when you go from 35 degrees to 80 degrees, that change, and you want the warm weather, but then you realize that when that sun's beating on you, it's a little bit different than what you're used to for the past 3 or 4 months. So it's good to get outside and be in those environments. I was looking at the weather for next week. Looks like we're going to have highs in the 70s, so we're going to be a little bit more acclimated to what that's going to be. But it's a great opportunity to get outside and just play ball and get going before you start your homestand, which for us will be that following Tuesday.
So we don't want to take you off of the Tigers and off of the Andre Dawson Classic here, but I want to talk about your career because you have a fascinating resume, Kerrick. You pitched at Nebraska. You were in the agent game for a little while before going back into the coaching ranks. Talk about your journey in baseball.
You know what? It's been a wonderful journey. I've been blessed to do just about everything there is in the game. I've coached I tell our players all the time, they talk about wanting to coach, and I said, make sure you understand my first coaching job. I was at Coffeyville Community College. My first paid job at Coffeyville Community College, living in a dorm, making $5,000 a year. And Coffeyville is not the highlight of places that you necessarily want to spend your career. But I was very fortunate to be able to be the Midwest Area Scout and Supervisor with the Washington Nationals. And like you said, spend time as an agent with the Boris Corporation. I was the first president of the MLB Draft League, so had opportunity to learn what it took to build and develop and get a league going. So, yeah, I've been really, really blessed and fortunate to have a bunch of different experiences. And those are all putting me in a great position to really educate our kids on all aspects of the game as well.
Without giving too much to Florida A&M, can you give us a little scouting report on your Mizzou team?
Yeah, you know what? We have a really good combination of older guys with experience and guys that don't have experience, be it freshmen and or position players that are transfers, JUCO transfers, some freshmen coming in, and it may not look traditional, but everybody's going to have a role and have an opportunity to be successful in the role that they're given.
Kerrick, looking at your schedule here, I feel like you might have been able to sell some recruits on the warm weather tour of being a Mizzou Tiger. 3 games in Puerto Rico, Andre Dawson Classic. Was that part of the pitch to people, along with a little bit of NIL sugar?
Yeah, you know what? It definitely is. When guys talk about, all the time we get guys that we're recruiting and they're like, Coach, I want to play in warm weather. I was like, so you don't want to play in the World Series in October? Because what happens when you're in New York or some of these places where it's not going to be warm, or you want to minor league baseball, you don't want to end up in, upstate Washington. So, yeah, when they know we're going to go outside early in the season and get some warm weather, that definitely helps with getting kids to want to be part of what we got going on specifically. And then you add that being in the SEC.
What's really cool is that we don't usually see former pitchers end up being managers, right? Bud Black, of course, of the Colorado Rockies. What insight can that give you to help your pitching staff as they try to manage this early part of the season?
Yeah, you know what? It's a really good combination of just being able to give practical application to the thought process of what you guys are going through, how you should be looking at different things, but then also on the hitter side of things, being able to let hitters know, I'm going to look as a pitcher, I'm going to look to expose your holes and your weaknesses, or take advantage of your aggression in certain situations. So we talk to our guys all the time about those situations and being able to think through at bats, having a plan, sticking to their plan. And the pitcher has a job to do too. So if he does his job, tip your cap to him for doing his job, and don't see it as a situation where you have to chase what it is that he's doing. So, we're really able to give our guys some really good insight when it comes to that.
Well, we have fascinating discussions with college coaches from all across the country, Kerrick, and I'm always wondering how deeply you tap into the alumni network of where you're coaching, whether you're at Memphis or Southern or here at Mizzou, to do recruiting. Because there's some pretty good names on this list. This is just a partial list of very distinguished major leaguers that came through your program.
Yeah, no question. I mean, when you look at University of Missouri and Mizzou Tiger Baseball, we do have a history of guys that have gone on and been some under the radar guys that have ended up in the big leagues. And because me being from St. Louis, constantly being around the program, even before I was here as an assistant, because I was here as an assistant coach from 2010 to 2015, I had relationships with all those guys. I coached a number of those guys. And so being able to get back as the head coach now, bringing all those guys back into the fold, we all know what we need to get accomplished, and we all know how we need to go about it. But more importantly, we know what it means to put on the black and gold, and how we have to go about our business to be successful and be one of the top teams in the country.
Well, we want to wrap this up by saying not only congratulations on your recent victory, which was the 100th of your coaching career, we wish you success in the next 100. We appreciate the time, Coach Jackson. Good luck in the Andre Dawson Classic. Thanks for the visit today.
Appreciate you guys having me on, MIZ.